Welcome to Days at Dogwood Canyon, a nature podcast brought to you by Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center in Cedar Hill, Texas. This is a podcast that will take you into our 200-acre wildlife preserve in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Take a quick weekly break with us and get outside with the fresh air, the trees, and of course, the birds. My name is Kirsten, and I'm Center Coordinator Community Programs here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. Welcome, listeners, to our Days at Dogwood Canyon podcast. This is a podcast about nature, birds, plants, and us. We will talk about how we all rely on each other to live our best lives. Today's Texas native plant has an interesting common name, the toothache tree, Xanthoxylum clava hercules, also known as Hercules club, pepperbark, tickle tongue, and prickly ash. This tree is part of the rue family, and its native range spans from central Virginia to southern Florida to East Texas and up to southeastern Oklahoma. It can be found in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, and Virginia. You can find toothache trees in prairies, plains, meadows, pastures, savannas, and near fence rows. Toothache trees are deciduous trees. They lose the leaves in the winter, but they have showy, prickly leaves with tiny gland dots on it from spring to fall. This tree can grow up to 50 feet. But it is often much shorter, remaining almost shrub-like. The small flowers will be yellow or green, and they bloom from January to May. That's quite a long time for blooming season. This is an aromatic tree that will have a rounded crown and spreading branches. It is quite an attractive tree, but it is also slightly foreboding. The trunk and all the branches are covered in spines. When the tree is large enough, you can see the spines from a good distance. This is not a tree that you're going to be leaning against to enjoy a nice spring breeze, but it is quite lovely to look at. These trees do best in full sun with dry soil that is a bit sandy and acid-based. And they don't need a lot of water. They are a native Texan after all. I know, I've kept you in suspense enough. Why is it called a toothache tree? Well, if you chew a bit of the bark or the leaves, it numbs the mouth. So it was often used as a home remedy for toothaches. Now today, I would recommend you just go visit your dentist, but in a pinch, you can use a bit of the bark to ease the pain until you can get an appointment. So you can plant this native in your yard, and you'll attract many native insects that utilize the nectar and pollen of this plant, such as our lovely little native bees and the giant swallowtail butterfly. This is one of the largest butterflies in our area. The toothache tree is the host plant for the large and impressive black and yellow butterfly, so you are sure to see some of the caterpillars munching on the leaves. But don't worry. They won't eat enough to harm your toothache tree. Granivorous birds will also visit your tree once the flowers go to seed. P.S. Granivorous birds like to eat grain and seeds. And the nice thing is that they'll clean up the yard for you, and you won't have to go out and worry about having too many toothache trees growing in your yard, because the little birds have eaten all the seed. So where can you see a toothache tree here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center? We have one planted to the left of our nature play entrance, just behind the rock, dedicating the tree to a wonderful and generous donor. Ours is young, so it's still pretty small. So please don't snap off a leaf or try a piece of bark. We want it to grow big and strong. If you come to one of our guided tree ID walks, our volunteer usually includes this unique tree on his tour. But if you come on another day, just ask us and we are happy to point it out to you. If you are visiting our sister center, Trinity River Audubon Center in Dallas, they have a large toothache tree near one of their trails that you can clearly see the thorny bark. Just tell them that we sent you to look for that toothache tree, and they'll tell you just where to find it. All right, listeners, I want to see all of you out at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center and Trinity River Audubon Center looking for the toothache tree.